Hey, welcome back to New England Fire Cooking. I'm Aaron Higgins, and this week we're talking smoked turkey. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and this is going to be a little prequel to Thanksgiving. So I went out and I bought a relatively small turkey because I'm not going to feed a slew of people. So I bought about a 10.5 pound turkey at the local grocery store, and I bought it fresh. This one wasn't frozen. But because I'm going to cook this in the smoker, I want to brine it first, otherwise it's just going to dry out. You can inject your bird if you want to, that's fine, but I've just found that brining adds more moisture to the bird. It takes a little bit more time, it's a little bit more labor intensive, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. So what I have here is I have a stock pot that's got about a gallon of water in it. In this bowl right here, all I have is a cup of kosher salt, a cup of raw granulated sugar, a quarter cup of garlic, and I'm just going to put that right in the water. I'm just going to add that right in there. And then afterwards, I'm going to take a couple of bay leaves. I'm going to throw these bay leaves right in here. That'll just add a little bit more flavor. I wish I had some fresh rosemary, but because I don't, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of rosemary into there. And then while I'm at it, I've got some thyme here. Just some sprigs of thyme. And I'm going to drop that in there. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on the stove. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to get everything mixed together really, really well. And then after that, you want to let your brine completely cool down. You don't want to add your turkey into this while it's still warm. That's not a good, you just don't do that. So add all your ingredients, bring it to a boil, mix it really well, make sure everything's nice and dissolved, and then just let it cool down. Then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this turkey inside of this thing, and I'm gonna let it sit overnight and just really let some of this moisture get right into the turkey meat. And then when I see you guys tomorrow, we're gonna be throwing this on the Traeger, let it run over some hickory smoke, and it'll be moist, tender, delicious. Perfect way to have a Sunday dinner a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. Stick around. Okay guys, so we're back next day with our turkey that's just come out of the brine. It smells really good already, even though it's completely raw and not cooked, but I wanted to show you this. What you want to do now that it's out of the brine, is you really want to give this thing a good pat dry. That's why I have it sitting on this this rack above this tray here, this cookie sheet. You want to get in all the little nooks and crannies and let it drip dry over this pan. And then you want to get inside this thing. All our brine went to work. It's going to give it a really good flavor. But now you want to make sure that you let this dry for at least 30 minutes. We're going to be smoking this, and you want to get like a nice crispy skin on there. It's not going to be crispy like if we were frying the turkey, but this is especially important if you were going to fry the turkey. You don't want to throw in a wet turkey to really hot oil, and you especially don't want to throw in a frozen turkey into a pot of really hot oil, because that will go off like a bomb. So we're going to let this hang out for about 30 minutes. And while this is hanging out, I'm gonna make the stuffing, and then we're gonna come back, we're gonna season this thing, we're gonna get it in some smoke. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so for this stuffing recipe, I'm gonna be using some hot Italian sausage. You can use whatever sausage you'd like, but what I did was I just got this from McQuaid's Marketplace, and I pulled it out of the skin, so you could break it apart into these pieces here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna brown this over some medium to medium high heat and get it nice and cooked, and then I'm going to add it with my vegetables and the bread, and then we'll be ready to season and stuff this turkey. Okay, so this turkey is now dry. We've got our stuffing prepped. Now we want to season this turkey. Before we do that, I'm going to come right over the top and brush on a nice light coat of olive oil. This is going to help our skin brown up a little bit, and it's also going to give it a nice sticky coating for our rub to stick to. Let's give it a decent brush. You don't have to go too crazy. You just want nice light coat. Okay, now we're going to start seasoning this thing. We're going to come over the top with a nice even coat of some special shit rub. This will be nice and savory. Make sure you flip your turkey. Don't forget to get those sides. It's a little bit of work, but it's worth it. And of course, flip this thing up, get some right inside that cavity. Never hurts to get a little rub in there. And then the next rub we're gonna come across with is this, this rub that I've been using quite a bit of because I don't really see too many flavor profiles, at least in this part of the country, that taste like this. And I'd like to be able to describe it to you. I can't really. All I can tell you is that it tastes really, really good. It's a little bit smoky, it's a little bit sweet. It's Heath Ryle's Pecan Rub. And I've used this on smoked turkeys before, and it just gives it a really unique flavor that I really enjoy. So and it gives it some really good color. It gives it some really, really nice color. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come over. Once again, we're gonna hit this turkey, some of this Heath Ryle's Pecan. Get some of that right inside. Get our sides. Make sure you get our drumsticks and our wings and all this stuff that's gonna be smoky, salty, delicious bird. All right, and now that we got our bird seasoned, we're gonna make up the stuffing. Stick around, I'm gonna show you how to do that in just a minute. Okay, so for the stuffing, what we're gonna do is I took a loaf of white bread and I just ripped it apart. You can buy the store-bought bread cubes and whatnot, but this was on sale for 99 cents, so I just grabbed a whole loaf of it and ripped it apart. It really doesn't take too long. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add these vegetables and fruit. You've got some minced garlic, some chopped onions, some chopped celery, some chopped baby carrots, and also some chopped apples. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add that right into the bread. Make sure we get all of it, spare no expense. Then after that, we've got our sausage that we browned in the pan. That's been chilling out a little bit just so it's cool enough to handle. And now what we want to do is we want to crack an egg into this bad boy. And then I'm going to add some stock to this. This is right around 1 cup of stock. And then from there, I'm going to add a little rosemary. Going to add some thyme. Gonna add a little sage. And then afterwards, we've got some cherry smoked sea salt. And last but not least, some black pepper. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna mix all this stuff together. Make our stuffing. Okay, it's time to stuff this turkey. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take handfuls of this and go right into this cavity, and it goes all the way back. Make sure that you get all the way into the back of this turkey. Pack it right in there. I like overstuffed turkeys anyway. Sausage. That's pretty good right there. So we got our turkey stuff. We want to truss this turkey, and just to hold the stuffing in, keep the legs together. So we want to bind the legs together, and then I just take some all-purpose string and just tie a simple knot in it, just over, under, over, under. And then what we'll do is we'll take a pair of scissors, we'll clip that right there, and now our turkey is seasoned, stuffed, and ready for smoke. We'll see you down at the pit. Okay, so our Traeger is right at 300 degrees. That's exactly what we want. We're gonna get this bad boy open, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave this turkey right on this rack because it'll be a lot easier to move around later. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get this bad boy set right in the very center, just able to fit this thing. And then we're gonna get her closed, and we're gonna come back in about an hour and a half. We're gonna see how this is doing and start monitoring our internal temperatures a little bit. Okay, so it's been just over an hour and a half, and as you can see, we're starting to get some really good color on this turkey. This came with one of those handy little pop-up indicators as to when it's done. But what I want to do, and this is a good reference, but what I want to do, just so I have an idea of when to check it again, is I want to temp this, the thick part of the breast right now, and just see where about we're at. We want 165. I got this thermometer upside down. It looks like we're right around, 113 or so. Okay, so we're probably looking at another hour and a half. But before we set any timers or anything, I want to take this rack. I want to spin this whole thing around, just so it cooks evenly. So we're going to spin this turkey around, and before I completely set it back on, we want to hit this with some cooking spray to keep the skin nice and crispy and let it brown up a little bit. So just give it a nice light coat. Bad boy back on the grill, close it up, and we'll be back in about another hour and a half. Okay guys, this bad boy just came off. I just ripped the little thermometer out of there, temped it. It's right at 167. This is exactly where we want. So before I let this rest, this is gonna rest for about 15 minutes or so. You can do 15 to 30 minutes, and that's fine. You can cover it if you want to. Before I let it rest, I've got a flock of people here that are ready to eat. And before I snitch a little bit of this, I'm going to do a quick run through of what we did. So we got a 10.5 pound turkey. We took a gallon of water with a cup of kosher salt, a cup of raw granulated sugar, and then 2 bay leaves, a couple of sprigs of thyme, and a 1/4 cup of garlic. We brought all that to a boil, and then we let it completely cool. We dropped our turkey in after we took our giblet pack out and all that stuff. We dropped our turkey into the brine, and we topped it off with some more cold water, gave it a quick mix, and we let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. Then afterwards, what we did was we made sure we dried it right out, patted dry the outside, and then we seasoned it with the special shit and the Heath Riles pecan rub. And then after that, we made up our stuffing with the hot Italian sausage and the celery, the carrots, the onion, the chopped apples, and the white bread, and all of our seasonings and herbs. And then we stuffed the cavity of it and went right on the Traeger at 300 degrees for about 4 hours until the internal temp hit 165. And then a couple times throughout this cook, we sprayed it down with some cooking spray just to let the skin brown up and get nice and crispy. And without further ado, I'm going to start in with the stuffing first. I think this is going to be really good. And I've got a cat. I've got an ancient orange tabby cat who's underfoot right now because he smells this and all he wants is a bite. So I guess he's in the same boat as me. That stuff was really good. Got a nice bite of hot Italian sausage right off the bat. Good smoke flavor, good herb flavor. And I know I'm supposed to let this rest, but I can't wait that long. I'm gonna take a little bit right off the top here. Get some breast meat, get some skin. Look at that. It's cooked perfect. Really good color. The skins bite through. It's really juicy. really juicy. I gotta tell you, that brine really did a good job. I had to steal another one. This is awesome. I could eat this every single day of the week. I say that in every video. Judge me. Don't care. This is awesome. I could eat this all the time.
Okay.
Ready for Thanksgiving. This is a great way to do it. The other thing that's cool about this is if you get these out on your grills and on your smokers, you free up a bunch of space in your oven. So you can do your green bean casserole, your squash, your candied yams, whatever you want to do. You get all the space in the world, and you just set it outside and let it go. Just let it go. You might have to adjust your temperatures. You might have to adjust your smoker a little bit if you're dealing with what we deal with here in New England. Temperature drops right down, so you're fighting against the cold weather, wanting to quench your grill as you're trying to maintain a temperature. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck, but once you figure out the heartbeat of your grill, you'll be just fine. But we're gonna let this hang out for a little bit, and then all of us are gonna dive right into this. And I gotta tell you, we can't wait. But listen, if you really like what you see here on New England Fire Cooking, and you wanna see more of this, subscribe to our channel, like and share, check us out on Instagram. You got any questions, you got any feedback, you have any comments, leave them in the comments section. We look at all of it. We'd love to hear from you guys. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe, spend a lot of good time with your family, and we'll see you next time.